X-Men and the Avengers. Which is better? For the last 20 years, Marvel has created the two most imaginative worlds of all time. The cinematic powerhouse produced billions in revenue thanks to bringing original comic book characters to life. While there are two worlds in Marvel, X-Men and the Avengers, only one team created them, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. It's crazy to think that dozens of complex characters with detailed superhero abilities were developed by only two mere mortals. Each series has catapulted the once considered nerdy comic book culture into mainstream entertainment. Both X-Men and Avengers turned into massive blockbuster franchises with endless spin-off characters and teams. These movies offer nostalgia to moms and dads and grandparents who were pulled into the pages of comic books in the 60s. For kids and teens, they are drawn to the epic battles, endless action, and complicated plot lines that weave through dozens of films. So which one is better? X-Men or the Avengers? It's not an easy question to answer, and fans of each franchise will argue theirs is best, as if their superpower was holding their ground and winning an argument. The first way to compare them is the most obvious way, by looking at the cast of characters. Let's walk through a handful of the cast of the Avengers. Let's kick things off with Thor. With long blonde hair and a chiseled physique, his attractiveness is matched by his superhuman strength, ability to fly, incredible durability, and by, of course, being the god of thunder. As such, he can generate and manipulate lightning. Out of all the Avengers, he became the closest to killing Thanos. Arguably one of the most popular comic book characters of all time is the Hulk. The monstrous alter ego of scientist Bruce Banner, played by Mark Ruffalo, comes to life when he's raging with anger. His tirades wreak havoc on those around him and put terror in his opponent's eyes. Despite his enormous physicality, he is surprisingly agile, like when he jumps from skyscraper to skyscraper. Captain America serves as a red, white, and blue suit-wearing protector of the Earth. With incredible strength and everlasting endurance, Captain America is built to outlast just about anyone in a fight. Paired with his vibranium shield, he can ward off enemies while protecting those who are on his side. While the team is full of brute strength, their other superpower elements are just as important when fighting to save the world, like superintelligence. Iron Man is the leader of the Avengers and guides them through a wide variety of challenges and obstacles. Tony Stark's alter ego and suit serves as an armor and a vessel that gives him the power of flight. This allows him to narrowly escape particularly dangerous situations in the blink of an eye. Played by Robert Downey Jr., his other superpower is sarcasm. Okay, we're making that up, but more on that later. Representing women everywhere is Black Widow, played by a red-headed Scarlett Johansson. Taking a break from her laundry list of romantic comedies, Scarlett Johansson transforms into a drastically different character as a former assassin with a bloody past. With her scissor kicks, gymnastic abilities, and stealth moves, she is just an all-around badass. Oh, and she can also electroshock her enemies. So basically, she's someone you don't want to piss off. In the exact opposite role as the Hulk, when Scott Lang dons his suit and becomes Ant-Man, he shrinks himself down to a minuscule size. A former thief, he can maneuver into situations that most of his team cannot wiggle their way into. Rounding out the list is Hawkeye. A skilled marksman, he serves as the perfect complement to Black Widow's murderous ways. With his bow and arrow, he can extinguish any life he wants to end. As a group, they are balanced with brutal strength, never-ending endurance, inconceivable intelligence, and skills that take years to perfect. This sometimes overlooked intelligence is necessary to develop a strategy that will overcome their enemies. It is not as obvious as the other abilities, and certainly not one that is showy. But when it comes to one-upping their opponents when it matters the most, it is imperative to have a game plan, and have the ability to quickly devise a new strategy when the tables turn. So let's move on to the X-Men. The cast of mutants offer a wide array of talents and abilities. Let's take a look at a few of them. One of the most famous X-Men of all time is Wolverine. Played by the incomparable Hugh Jackman, Logan is able to slash his way through any fight using the retractable metal claws that dispense from his forearms. He also has unusually quick healing powers which allow him to last a long time in fights. Professor X, or Charles Xavier, is a scientific genius known for his telepathic abilities. His determination to eliminate discrimination of mutants is his driving force behind leading the X-Men and the reason he founded the Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters. Full of strategy, he provides guidance to his team. In an obvious quest to create a strong character, Beast was born. When Hank morphs into his alter ego, he transforms into a large, hairy blue monster. He is the muscle on the team, offering up physical strength, while most of the team's abilities are more complex. Storm's ability to create hell on Earth is almost entirely unmatched by any other character in Marvel. As a critic described, while other characters kill off 1 or 2 enemies at a time, she can wipe out an entire state by creating and sending tornadoes to destroy them. She is a powerful force on this team. Jean Grey is a dominating force, offering her telepathic and telekinetic abilities. She can make people's bodies explode by just looking at them, which is absolutely debilitating for her opponents. Her skill is arguably the most impactful and devastating. She can read what people are thinking and then destroy them. Raven, played by Jennifer Lawrence, morphs from a normal-looking girl into Mystique, a scaly, blue-bodied shell who can turn into anyone she wants. Be it a celebrity, a politician, or an enemy, she can trick people through her illusions. Compared to Storm, her abilities seem lackluster, but she also keeps the plotline moving forward with her friendship to Professor X. Emma Frost, played by the blonde bombshell January Jones, she can turn her body into a shimmering diamond-like encasement whenever she wants to, making her virtually indestructible. This allows her to hide her vulnerability as well. Scott Summers' alter ego Cyclops can use his eyes to hurl a concussion at his opponents. James Marsden plays the role of this Class 4 mutant. His optical blast sends his enemies into oblivion. Perhaps one of the most complicated mutants is Magneto. With an ability to control metal objects and magnetic fields, his talents are incredibly useful, but his attitude is a challenge to deal with. He is fiercely opposed to the ideology that X-Men were founded on. He is in ardent opposition to Professor X's peacekeeping approach. He wants to fight his way through the universe for justice at all costs, something that Professor X does not believe in. While he is a mutant, he is in opposition to the team in many cases. However, when it matters the most, he joins them to take on larger enemies. The X-Men's team seems to be ever expanding, with characters joining the cast in just about every movie. From Flying Angel, to Blink opening portals, to Banshee creating supersonic screams, the cast and talents seem to be infinite. The X-Men offers a rotating door of abilities and superpowers. Individual skills are imperative in fighting, but winning a war is based on a collective effort. Group compatibility is important and team chemistry is essential. If you can't collaborate, then you can't beat an opponent. Let's look at how they operate as a unit. The Avengers feel like they have a real sense of friendship and camaraderie. There is a sense of pride in what they represent and what they can accomplish. And while the X-Men also have a strong bond, they operate more like a family. Tension and arguments can run deep, which can create a painful divide. But when the conflict is over, they heal up quickly and their allegiance to each other is restored. What else is important to a blockbuster franchise? The writing. There has to be something to stitch the story together, or else it would just be one explosion after another without any rhyme or reason. The 2012 film The Avengers offers comedy. Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man offers a hilarious lightheartedness to a serious world. After defeating the Chitauri Leviathan, you know, the thing that looks like a futuristic roller coaster ripped away from its track while flying through the air, he is seriously hurt, lying on the ground. Still on his back, the dialogue is ingenious. Captain America proclaims, "We won." Iron Man follows with, "Alrighty, yay, good job guys, let's just not come in tomorrow, let's just take a day. Have you ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma place like 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it." It just fits perfectly. It's like eating a piece of ginger between sushi. It's a palate cleanser. Something funny and refreshing to cleanse you of the hellacious battle you watched for 2.5 hours. Throughout the films, there are so many occasions that offer these bits of fresh air, allowing the audience members to pause and breathe. It also unveils the widely used GIF of Robert Downey Jr. producing the best eye roll of all time. What X-Men's writing highlights is vulnerability. Raven desperately craves normalcy. With her scaly, cobbled skin, all she wants is to feel normal, be a normal girl. In multiple scenes, her sadness fills the room. Deep emotion is the complete juxtaposition of her incredible fierce abilities. It is heartbreaking to witness, but important to the storyline to keep the story moving forward. So, which is better? We'll let you make your own decision. If you're looking for brash battles led by brawn and strength with characters like the Hulk at the helm, the Avengers is the best. But if you're looking for something a bit more complex, with more complicated stories featuring undertones of discrimination and inclusiveness, then X-Men is for you. Whatever you decide, you can't go wrong. There is a reason why Marvel has created wildly popular movies consistently over the last 20 years. X-Men and the Avengers are entertaining to just about everyone, and we can't wait to see what they come up with next.